we record all expenses. Anything that involves us paying out money, so that's an expense. So we record on the debit side. And I've said we include both accrued and paid. Then on that, yes, Patience, you have a question? Patience, Kezia? Okay, can progress. So, and I said on credit side, we record all balances. That if we bought some materials, then by the end of the year, we have not utilized all the materials, that value of the material that's still in our store, we record on the credit side. Then we also record all return. If there are any material, any machine that we bought for the purpose of the contract, but it has been returned to the central store, it has been returned to the company back. So we record on the debit, on the credit side. Then finally, we get the balancing figure, and the balancing figure will always be on the credit. What does this mean? That always when you are preparing the contract account, we'll have more money on the debit side. The value of debit side will always be high, and the value of credit side will always be low. So that's why the balancing figure will always be on the credit side. So if you prepare a contract account and you have a higher balance on the credit side, know that you have posted those transactions inappropriately. So with that explanation, we would like to record the values for on the debit side. So you can, from the question, you can give me the values on the to be recorded on the debit side. Who is the first person to give us the value? Who doesn't have the question? Janice, give us the value for the first any transaction that entails purchase. Faith, you don't have the question. The question was written last. I gave you in the class last week. Were you are present, Faith? Last week, were you in class? Confirm. No, okay, not Wednesday. Currently not. The topic I usually teach on Wednesday, we only tackle it on Wednesday. For the topic I teach on Saturday, I teach, we progress with the Saturdays. A minute, I confirm if I sent. I also sent through your class rep. Can you circulate? Can you send them to the group again? Class rep, can you send the question on class example for contract? Let me resend again.
I've sent it.
Yeah?
I've sent them. I've sent them.
You have
to the
sent them,
group.
huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So for that sake, for those who has the question, who can read through so that we don't waste much of the time. So I believe you are able to see the question. So this how it read. HZ Construction Company acquired a contract for the construction of a dual carriageway from Nairobi at a cost of 200 million. The data relating to the contract for the year ended 31st December 2009 was as follows. So we have materials on site, we have materials purchased locally, we have direct wages paid, we have direct wages accrued, we have plant purchased and installed, we have direct expenses paid, we have direct expenses accrued, we have electricity charges, materials returned to store, work certified, cost of work not certified. Then you have material on site on 31st December 2009. We also have value of plant on 31st December 2009. Then the company has received from the client payment amounting to 126 million. So required, prepare contract account, prepare contractee account. The number 3 that is not within that question will also ascertain the profit to be recognized in the profit and loss account. So I hope now all of us are together. So from those transactions, who can identify the first transaction I should record on the debit side? Janice, you didn't have the question, now you have the question. It has been sent on WhatsApp. I'm also displaying on the screen. Can you identify the first transaction that I should record on the debit side?
Just to try.
Materials issued to site.
Somebody has said material issued to site, yes.
I wanted to say the same.
You wanted to say the same thing?
Yeah.
What's the amount? Then tell us the value. Amount is how much?
It is 80 million.
It's 80 million. So rather than for your sake, you can write the figures in full. For my sake, because I'm using a mouse to write, so I'll put here 3 zeros, meaning where we have a million, I'll only be writing like 1,000. Put here the 3 zeros. The second item to record, we have recorded material issued to site at 80 million. The next item,
Material purchased locally.
material purchased locally, that's 15,700. Materials purchased, then it's 15,700. Next. Next transaction. I remember I said all expenses and all purchases. So from that list, the next one.
Plant purchased and installed.
Yes, plant purchased and installed. How much?
48,800,000.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, it's 48,800. Mm-hmm. Another. Another transaction that we should record on the debit side.
Direct wages paid.
Yes, direct wages paid. How much?
15,800,000.
15,800. Mm-hmm. Another transaction.
Direct wages accrued.
Mm-hmm. Direct wages accrued. How much?
350.
350. The next transaction. Another transaction. Nick Gidinji, I have not heard your voice. What's in another transaction that you should record on the
Direct expenses paid.
we have direct expenses paid. How much?
1780.
Direct expense paid 1780. Another transaction. Another transaction.
Direct expenses accrued.
Yes, direct expenses
70.
accrued. How much?
70,000.
70. Another?
Mwalimu, what about plant purchased and installed? Does it not fall under the same
It falls under the same, but
category?
haven't we recorded? Plant purchased, we recorded 48,800.
Sorry. Okay, thank you.
Another? Another?
Electricity charges.
Electricity charges, how much? Electricity. How much is electricity charges?
$180.
180. Another transaction? So far we have recorded material issued to the site, material purchased locally, direct wages paid, direct wages accrued, plant purchased and installed, direct expenses paid, direct expenses accrued. We have recorded electricity charges. We have recorded, okay, those are the expenses that we do have. So who can identify the transaction that we should record on the credit side now? Who can identify the transaction that we should record on the credit side?
Materials returned to store.
Yes, material returned to store. How much?
850.
You said 350.
850.
Store 850. Another transaction? Another transaction? Any balance? Do you see any transaction with the balance or indicated balance? Can you see the transaction with the last date of the year?
Material inside.
Yes. On site, 31st December, so that's the last day. So that's the balance. So we have material on site, 5330. Then we have value of plant. Plant, which is value of plant 41,500. So get the total. Get the total on the debit and the total on the credit. Once you have the total, you let me know.
The debit is 162,
Mhm.
680.
162, 680. And on the credit,
$47, 680.
it's for credit is 47, 680. Now, let me assist you interpret this information so that we are able to balance and close that particular account. Now, in our normal life, in our day-to-day life, we usually do shopping. So we'll do shopping for some of the items that we require to use for the entire month. So now if we use that as an example, then this is what it means, that at the beginning of the month, we did shopping for goods worth 162,680. Now, at the end of the month, before we go out to do shopping, we have to evaluate so that we see what is not there and what is there, so that we only go and replace what we require. So after evaluating what we have and what we don't have, we realize we still have in our store goods worth 47,680. In that case, it means you have already consumed goods worth a certain amount of money. So if we subtract that, what balance do we get? If we subtract 47,680 from 162,680, what do we get?
And 15,000.
115,000. So it means we have already consumed goods worth 115,000. But now going back to the contract, that when we have a contract and we are doing construction, we'll buy materials. As we buy materials and we use them, as we progress with the contract, we use those materials. Then at the end of the year, we evaluate. We bought materials worth 162,680. When we evaluate, we find that we still have material in our store worth 47,680. Then it means that materials that is worth 115,000 has already been consumed in that particular contract. So, and that's what we said it will be our balancing figure. So we come here and record. We come here and record cost to date. It's 115,000. And then we will get a total of, or we will balance off our account by 162,680. Yeah, 162,680. So that's how we prepare contract account. So that's what we are to prepare. Believe it, you have mastered the concept. If it comes to exam, it's usually about, the bare minimum I've seen is about, okay, it's usually about 10 or 12 marks. So you can make that good score. Let's answer number 2, contractee account. Now, contractee account is simplest because it has only 3 transactions. Okay, account. Now, on contractee account, it has 3 transactions. The first transaction, we have to get work certified. And why do we require work certified? Remember we said that for us to engage in a contract of construction in nature, we must get an architecture who will verify, who will supervise the work for us. And how do we get the, I'll take you briefly how organization get an architecture to supervise the construction work. That if today Kenya Institute of Management has bought a plot and we want to construct a college, then we'll advertise that we want to construct a college in a plot, give the location of that particular plot and the measurement of the plot. Then we are advertising, requesting for architects to bring in different designs that can suit the Kenya Institute of Management. So several architects will visit that particular place and to look at the topography, how the top plot is, where it's located, the adjacent environment. Then they come up with a plan of a building that we can fit in, and it will serve the purpose for Kenya Institute of Management. Now, once Kenya Institute of Management, Kenya Institute of Management now will evaluate those different plans that would have been supplied in consideration which plan gives us much space that can accommodate classrooms, which plan gives us much space that can accommodate in terms of offices, and which plan is more magnificent that can attract students or looks appealing on the eyes of the viewers and all that. So we'll choose, and also we will be considering which plan can be done within our budget. So once you have identified a particular plan, then the contractor who came up with that plan automatically gets the contractor to supervise that work to ensure that what he has put on paper is what is being actually put on ground. So once you have gotten the contractor, we have gotten the architecture, and then we'll go ahead and now re-advertise. Now, the second advertisement will be advertising now to look for contractor. We'd say we want to construct a engineer college at this particular location. These are the expectation, what we need to achieve in that particular contract. Then we request people those who can do construction, who have experience in doing construction, to apply for that particular work. Now, when they apply, we will agree, as they apply, they will usually bring those applications indicating the cost that it will cost us to do that particular construction. Now, the lowest bidder from those who have submitted the application will be given the contract to do the construction. Now, once the lowest bidder has been given the contract, the amount he quoted becomes the contract price. Now, when he does the work, every step he undertakes, he has to engage the architecture. So, assuming he has done, we want to excavate. As he excavates, he has to get the contractor, the architecture, to come and verify that he has excavated to the depth that the architecture had recommended. Now, as he starts doing the foundations, as he laid the foundation, he go get the architecture to come and verify. So every bit of work that he does, he'll be getting the architecture to come and verify. Now, once the architecture has verified, he'll issue an architecture certificate. Now, once the contractor gets the architecture certificate, then he can use it now to claim for payment. Now, in event we are preparing a contractor account, in that case, we are concerned about how much money has the contractee or the contractor claimed for payment. Then we'll also look at it. How much money then has he been paid? Then how much money is remaining? That's why I've said it only has 3 transactions. So the first one we'll record is a work certified. So from that question, how much is work certified?
$38,000.
Yeah? How much is work certified?
38,000.
Okay.
3,800.
Work certified.
150,000.
150.
It's 150. 3,800 is work not certified. That means the contractor has done that work and architecture is not there to verify. So we'll record here 150,000. How much money has he been paid? From the question, how much has he been paid? How much money has he been paid?
$126M.
Yeah?
126M.
Yes. So we record here. So he could have been paid that much. He could have been paid through bank. It's 126. Remember, the 3 zeros we had put there up there. So we'll write 126,000. So now, if you have claimed to be paid 150,000 and you have been paid 126,000, how much is remaining to be paid? How much?
24,000.
Yeah, 24,000. Then we close off the account at 150. Then we also close. So record the closing balance and 50,000. So as per this question, you have already responded, but I'll also deal, though it was not requested for that question, they didn't request, but you can also be asked to compute the profit to be recognized in the profit and loss account. You can also be asked to compute the profit to be recognized in profit and loss account. So in the event you have been asked to compute that, first of all, we have to ascertain the stage of contract. A stage of contract. So to get to the stage of contract, we do value of work done. Value of work done. We divide by contract price. Then we multiply by 100. Value of work done. We divide by contract price. Then we multiply by 100. And then for us to get value of work done, value of work done is equals work certified plus costs of work not certified. Cost of work not certified. So for us to get value of work done, we add value work certified plus cost of work not certified. So when you add the two, how much do you get?
And 53,800.
153,800. And what was the contract price? From that question, what was the contract price?
200 million.
200 million.
200 million, yes. So we do 153,800 divided by the 200,000. Remember that there are 3 zeros that we have been leaving out, but you can write in full for the purpose of revision. Then we multiply by 100. Or what's the answer?
$76.9.
Okay, 76.9%. Sorry, 0.9%. You remember I gave you 3 stages of a contract. For those who are there, do you remember? The first stage I gave you, we said early stage. And for early stage, you said it's between 1% to 49%. And at that stage, you don't recognize any profit. Then the second stage, I gave you maturity stage. And on maturity stage, I told you it's between 50% to 79%. And I gave you a formula that was 2/3 of national profit times cash received over work certified times national profit. Then I also gave you the third stage, which was near completion stage, and that's between 80% to 99% of the work. And at that stage, I gave you the formula as national profit times work certified over contract price. So for this particular, because we are at 76.9, then we are at maturity stage. So the formula that will be applicable to account for profit to be recognized will be 2/3 times national profit times cash received over work certified. Cash received over work certified. So within this formula, I also said that 2/3 is a constant. It doesn't change as long as it's a constant, so we don't have to substitute anything. National profit. Did I train you how to get national profit? I gave you a formula for national profit. Confirm for those who are there. Okay, I'll still give you national profit NP is equals value of work done minus cost to date minus cost to date. Value of work done minus cost to date. So do we have the value of work done? Who can remind us the value of work done?
$153,800.
Yes, 153,800. Minus costs. Who can remind us the cost to date? Who can remind us cost to date?
115,000.
Yes, 115,000. So 153,000 minus 153,800 minus 115,000. What's the figure?
38,800.
38,800. 38,800. So we have gotten the national profits. Do you have, from the question, do you have cash received?
And 26M.
Yeah?
And 26M.
Yes, 126 million. Do you have value of work certified? From the question, do you have work certified?
And 50,000.
Yes. So now we want to substitute in that formula. So we'll have 2/3 times 38 800, then times 126,000, 26,000 divided by 150,000. How much do you get?
Twenty-one, 728.
21?
728.
728. So now that's the cash that we will be recognized in the profit and loss account for that particular project. Anyone with a question, concern? Anyone with a question or concern pertaining contract account? Yeah.
Malimo, could you repeat the stages? Could you repeat the stages?
Okay, I gave you 3 stages. So the first stage, we said early stage. And this early stage is between 1% to 49%. And at this stage, no profit is recognized. Now, just to clarify, at some point, for exam purpose, we can also give you a contract that is no, let's say it's 40% or 30% or 27% or 20, any percentage. Now, because we know that's the stage, and we'll ask you compute the profit to be recognized in the profit and loss account. So if you compute at the stage and then you get it's between 1 to 49%, then you don't just leave it like that. You tell us the project is at early stage, no profit should be recognized. So in that case, you have already computed we'll give you full marks for the profit to be recognized. Then the second stage is maturity stage. Maturity stage. So maturity stage, you said is between 50% to 79%. 50% to 79%. So this one, I gave you a formula, is 2/3 times notional profit times cash received over work certified. Then stage number 3 is near completion. Number 3 is near completion stage. And this is between 80% to 99%. 99%. So at this stage, with the formula that will be applicable, will be notional profit times work certified over contract price. So depending on the stage you get, then you should apply the effective method. So you have to ascertain the stage before you can compute now the profit to be recognized. Is there any other question or concern? Any other question or concern? So you are contented? No one has a concern? If you don't have concern, that's okay. But I have one. Just a minute. We want to evaluate and see how far we have covered our syllabus, so that we know if we are badly off. We look at other mechanisms, how we'll cover that syllabus appropriately.